Everyone hates Teemo. That's right, League of Legends furry demon successfully invaded 2xKO and brought his unique brand of infuriating gameplay to the FGC.
We all know, insanely good. He is the harbinger of death.
But it's not just that Teemo is toxic. He's also revealed what might be a huge problem with 2xKO's mechanics. Okay, so Teemo is about a month old in 2xKO, and by now, we have a pretty good understanding of what he does and generally how you're supposed to use him. And it turns out that what you're supposed to be doing is make your opponents miserable.
And going for the Teemo's... yeah, he's going double down, I just forgot. Oh, trying to survive?
Oh my god, Teemo! Left foot with the Teemo team back there. It's
Nah,
because
bro.
Josh couldn't do anything about that, right?
I know that's not really a Teemo-centric clip, but I really had to show the BM. Anyway, before we talk about what makes Teemo so hated, I have to explain what he does. Teemo is ostensibly a zoner, a fighting game character archetype focused on using projectiles to keep an opponent far away from you. And Teemo has plenty of keep away options. His blow darts, mushrooms, slingshot, and even bush all work to force opponents out of specific spots on the stage. He can also stall in the air with his parachute to slow the game down, and his Super 1, which we will get to, also covers the entire screen in a hail of projectiles. Basically, this satanic Labubu forces you to play his game in neutral, and his game is evil.
The comments were like, yeah, you know, like, Teemo, he's tough, he's a little guy, he doesn't swing very far, but I hope they give him some love. And I was like, you guys are all on drugs. He's just Thanos. He's so incredibly good.
There are a lot of sneakily powerful things that Teemo can do thanks to 2xKO's system mechanics. For example, the way that he can use his slingshot as a pseudo assist.
I don't say things I don't mean. You got it, man.
Newer players might not realize this, but basically when you handshake tag to your assist, you can keep holding down any chargeable button you were holding before the tag. So here, I call Ekko, handshake tag, and I'm still holding S1 to charge slingshot. It'll release on its own at the end of the charge, or when I release S1. That is effectively a full screen projectile assist. It lets you make unsafe strings plus, it aids in mix-ups, it interrupts your opponent's combos, and of course, it even helps your own combos keep going. It's insane. And that's not the only way that Teemo can dominate neutral. Super 2 is incredible at controlling space. It's basically Rashid's Isar from Street Fighter 6, which is literally the best super in that game. He can backdash or jump back and dart you while an assist covers the ground. He's shockingly fast. He has incredible mix-ups in Oki. He's just really annoying to play against. You can barely touch Teemo in neutral, and if he hits you, you're either dead or you're about to be, thanks to his crazy corner carry and great damage. Also, even once you actually kill him, his super assist is a war crime. But all of that pales in comparison to the sheer toxicity of Teemo's Super 1 super tag. Super tag is a mechanic that's only available if you're using the double down fuse, but it's extremely strong. Basically, similar to the slingshot trick we showed earlier, you can call an assist, start Super 1, Bandle Sky Patrol, and then tag to your assist. This gives you the freedom to approach, mix, and combo behind a storm of projectiles your opponent can't do anything about. This isn't just strong, it's also brain dead. For the low cost of 1 bar, you get to completely skip neutral. Players are reasonably pretty upset about the mechanic. This isn't even the first time that we've had super tag discourse either. Jinx was the primary super tag abuser before Teemo came out, thanks to her enormous beam super. But in the same patch that introduced Teemo to the game, Riot made it so that Zap, Jinx's Super 1, applied more damage and hit stun scaling, making super tag combos significantly worse. It is kind of wild that Riot realized it was a good idea to nerf Jinx super tag, but release Teemo like this. In fact, Teemo is better than Jinx ever was. It's not just that his super tag utility is better than hers was pre-nerf, he is also just better in neutral, does more damage, and has stronger team synergy across the board. Plus, he can actually zone. And like you saw in the Sajam clip from earlier, there really isn't a ton of counterplay to the super tag stuff. The best you can do is jump back and try to block Teemo's darts in the air, but even that isn't perfect. There are already players calling for super tag to be cut straight out of the game. And while that does make sense, removing it straight out would cause some issues. Like, if it's gone, you do have to give Double Down something, otherwise you only end up with 2 playable fuses. But if you don't remove Super Tag entirely, some new character with a projectile super is going to be the one that abuses it in the future. Personally, I think Broski's suggestions make sense, particularly his take about letting supers play out in full instead of canceling when you use Double Down. That change would make the game feel a little bit more like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where you could start a long super, then DHC into a much shorter one, using the long one as cover for an approach or an opportunity to extend a combo. But the funniest part of all of this is that even if you did remove Super Tag tomorrow, Teemo would still be one of the best characters in the game, and definitely the most toxic. Nothing I talked about in the first half of this video was about Super Tag. He's just a goddamn menace. We really should have listened to the League players. They warned us about this freak. But while we're here, we probably should talk about the other top tier elephant in the room. Twitter went crazy last week when FlyQuest Fight Series Top 8 looked like this, and it has to be said, Ekko is insanely strong right now. The Kebab OS is an absolutely filthy mix-up that you can do off of any hard knockdown if he has a meter. His damage is solid, he has some of the best assists in the game, he can do it all. There's a reason Ekko is the most popular assist character in Challenger by a lot. But like I said in my last video, I don't know if we really need major nerfs right now. Jonathan Tene won First Attack, an offline First Impact tournament with Yasuo Ekko, but Chris G came second with Teemo Ahri. Ekko and Teemo are not the only viable characters. In fact, most people are putting Teemo, Ekko, Yasuo, and Ahri at the top of their tier lists. That said, yeah, the top 4 are far and away better than the rest of the cast, and I am starting to feel like they may need to be reined in at least a little. Maybe you can cut their damage by a bit or bring down their mix-up potential. But I also think this meta is a lot better than what the game would be like if Blitz and Braum were broken. Plus, this roster is so small, I'm kind of shocked that there are even 4 good characters. For now, Ekko might be the best character in the game, but I do think Teemo is definitely the most annoying. And I do think it's pretty likely he'll get nerfed at some point, if only so Super Tag stops being the default way to start a round of ranked. For the first time in this goblin's hideous existence, he is a top tier. And we all await the day Riot decides to cut him down to size.
Spike Teemo! A little Gronk spike?
That's a good bounce on that.
Get in there, man.
Very nice.